Hello and welcome to this week's chat on the Ectorhead channel. Oh, and before I forget, this footage playing behind me is from Dobsonian Power, a channel run by the chap you can see there called Tiago. So, with the third tranche of documents soon to be released any day now, I think, by the US government for us to peruse and pore over, we can only hope that it isn't more of the same. Frankly, weak sauce. But as I've spoken about before, the UFO disclosure push isn't for us, those of us who are steeped in the subject, those of us who have followed it for many, many years, and even some of us who have had experiences. No, this is for the everyday Joe, the everyman, the everywoman in the streets who isn't familiar with any of this. But today I'd like to talk about truth and courage. For decades now, many people have come forward and told us about their various experiences relating to the UFO subject, be they just a witness of something in their neighbourhoods, something in the sky, which sometimes they've had the good fortune to photograph or even film, or whether you're an official whistleblower who has some kind of audio or a radar tape. One thing's for sure, if you're an official whistleblower who has come forward with an experience, you can bet your bottom dollar somewhere there's footage. And these people all come forward with their testimonies. They all speak their individual truths, and they do so in the most hostile of environments. Ufology is replete with cases of people who've experienced things and then had rather unwelcome visits from people who we'd like to call the men in black. But often they're not men in black. Often they're just rather odd individuals who are very intimidating. In some cases, it's obvious they're carrying firearms and they make threats. These threats include everything from personal threats to threats to one's family and even children. If you're an official whistleblower, then the threats are not only personal, but they also extend to things like your pension. They state that if you say anything more about your encounter, you'll be destroyed. And of course, there are the stories of people who have been killed in order to stop their testimony getting out. The kind of dirty tricks that the state plays to keep its secrets, to keep its power, are well known, and they stop at nothing. If you're a citizen witness, then the media is your enemy. The mainstream media. They infect everything. They silence family and friends with the threat of ongoing ridicule and shame, which often turns out to be the case. Many people have been ostracized from their communities. And of course, the resultant relationships that are destroyed therein. And if you're an official whistleblower, then the mainstream media and the state that once employed you will conspire to discredit and destroy you. And yet, they still come forward. They keep coming forward. Time and time again, we hear stories of people who have these rather incredible encounters, be they citizen witnesses or official whistleblowers, and they do their research. They test the water, and they find that there's nothing but difficulty ahead for them. And yet, they still keep coming forward. They tell their stories and they endure the hardship. They endure every hardship. Why? Because it's the truth. Because their experience was real. And it's so incredulous. Some people have such a sense of humanity about them, such a sense of community, that if this has happened to them, then they realize it must be happening to other people. And maybe in their testimony, they can help somebody else. And maybe in the telling of their testimony, they can also be helped. These encounters leave these whistleblowers and witnesses in a no man's land. Their lives are no longer the same. Or they can carry on getting up in the morning, going to work, coming home, going to bed, etc., etc. But now there's something else. The world has changed fundamentally for them. And these people just have to acknowledge the truth and reality of their situation. And it can't be denied that in the telling of their experiences, there's also a cry for help. And so as we wait for this third tranche of papers to be released by the US government, fingers crossed it will be a little more compelling than the previous releases, I'm reminded of whom I think disclosure should be for. And it's for these people. Disclosure should be for the witnesses that over the last 70 years, 50 years, have come forward against all the odds and in the face of all the difficulty and still told us their truths. That's who disclosure should be for. And when the government gets done playing this game of disclosure, gets done with releasing tranche after tranche, thereby making disclosure itself self-evident, maybe governments across the planet will elect to put up monuments to these individuals, place their names in stone, so that these brave and courageous, ordinary people who, via their various testimonies, gave us this truth, can finally be honoured and be remembered by history in an appropriate and fitting manner. I very much hope that disclosure will demand it. Do let me know what you think in the comments below. Do like, subscribe and share. It really would help the channel. And until next time, bye-bye.